Hello and welcome back to the Pajarito Environmental Education Center, better known as PEEC. My name is Ashleigh Lusher. I'm the Gift Shop and Programs Coordinator, and today we're going to be looking at one of our snakes here. Here we have Foxxy, the Western Hognose Snake. You can see him back in this corner here. Originally, we're going to be taking him out of his tank, but he is in a little bit of a grouchy mood today, so we're going to let him stay in there as he pleases. But you can see he is being a little odd right now. He's pointing his head up at us. He's trying to figure out what exactly is going on. This is a Western Hognose snake. It's very common in the United States. They have a range from Canada all the way into Mexico, and they enjoy living in kind of prairie-like areas. So anywhere that has a little bit of a sandy prairie, and they need that soil because they actually dig and burrow into the sandy soil. So if he turns, or maybe I can angle our camera a little bit, you can see his nose has a little bit of an upturn to it. He's got a slightly upturn. It's that named hognose snake. Oh, there, he's going to move around a little bit for us. But they have that upturned nose to help them dig into the soil. And they dig into the soil in search of prey. These guys eat mostly amphibians, so toads, frogs, things like that. They've also been known to eat other lizards, reptile eggs, smaller snakes, and rarely, but sometimes also mice. So these guys eat these small creatures, and for the most part, they go after prey that does not fight back. And that's because they have a very, very interesting venom or mechanism to kill their prey. And there's actually a lot of controversy on whether or not to classify these snakes as venomous. I personally think of them as venomous because they do have venom or modified saliva. So these guys, they have this modified saliva, also known as venom, but it is relatively harmless to people. If a person is injected with their venom, they can sometimes have slight reactions, but for the most part, it will all go away and be fine within a couple of days. Their venom is very, very light, and it really is only meant to help them keep a frog from jumping away. So it's not needing to be super potent at all. And this venom is really interesting because most snakes that you will see, like a rattlesnake or other venomous vipers, cobras, have front fangs. They have fangs that are at the very front of their mouth. So when they go out and strike, they are biting down with those front teeth and injecting venom. These snakes, these Western hognose, have venom that is in the back of their mouth. Their fangs are in the back of their throats. So when they go and, let's say, strike at something, even if they did an open mouth strike, their fangs are not going to pierce the skin of whatever it is they are striking. And so the only real way to be infected with their venom is if these guys try to actively swallow your finger. You can see he's a very small snake. These guys get to be, mostly they're 2 feet long. Sometimes they can get up to 3 feet. But if they were trying to bite you, they would, and infect you with venom, they would have to almost swallow the entire finger, which is very, very unlikely. And since they are not a very quickly moving snake, you could easily pull your finger away. So for the most part, these guys are considered harmless to people. They really can't hurt people, and they make a great pet because of that. So these guys, they do burrow, as I said. I'm hoping that he gives us a nice shot of his nose. Let me see if I can get the camera any closer. We're still having to use a laptop to record these, so it's not very easy to get close-up images a little bit. He's got that tipped hog nose, and it's actually quite fun. If you're holding him, he'll sometimes try to burrow into your shirt sleeves or things like that. But here at the Nature Center, we feed these guys mice. But as I said, in the wild, they'll eat all kinds of different amphibians and things that often do not fight. So as we keep going, make sure if you have any questions, you can type those in the chat and I'll try to answer them. But so as we're seeing him now at this angle, you can see this beautiful, beautiful pattern along his back. And these guys really try to replicate other types of snakes. They're great at being very theatrical. They're a very theatrical snake. I often call Foxxy our little drama queen here at the Nature Center. And that is due to their self-defense mechanism. As we said before, they don't really have venom, so they can't protect themselves by striking and infecting with the venom. Instead, they try to trick any predators or potential threats into thinking they are a more dangerous snake. So these guys will sometimes rattle the tips of their tails in hopes that it makes a sound like a rattlesnake. They will pretend to strike at you or whatever threat they feel is affecting them. They will hiss. They will flatten out their necks to make it look almost like a hood, like a cobra, or more triangular, like a viper. And they will, as I said, strike. If none of that works, their best plan is to pretend to be dead. So these guys are very, very strong actors. They will fully commit to the role of playing the dead snake. They will thrash around, they will gag, they will roll over on their backs, they'll stick their tongues out, they'll act like they are going through the epitome of a stage death, and then they will lay on their backs still and try to convince whatever is near them that they are dead and there's no need to bother them anymore. And they'll often stay like that. And the best thing is if you turn them back over to where they're upright correctly, they will quickly flip back over onto their backs again. And so they will just almost do somersaults as you're trying to right their right side up. It can be really funny to us as we know they're not dead. They're playing possum. But as soon as the threat leaves, they'll kind of sit still for a few minutes. And then once they feel safe, they will righten themselves and slither away quickly. So they really rely on the ability to trick any kind of predator into thinking they are a rattlesnake or another kind of predator snake. And if that doesn't work, they will try to convince them that they are dead. And it's actually really funny to watch. Foxxy here has only gone through that whole scenario a couple times, and we're thankful for that. That means he feels very safe here at the Nature Center. The few times that he has gone through a full display to convince us that he is dead, it's been if somebody is trying to grab him or a visitor is being able to touch him and they maybe smell like a pet, or they're moving around in a way that makes him a little bit anxious. And then he'll go ahead and do his full display. But for the most part, he's happy and feels safe and is just living his best little life here in the Nature Center. So these guys mate and lay their eggs in the summer months, and the females will lay from 4 to, I believe, 25 eggs in a single clutch. Those eggs will hatch and look like these little baby snakes, and they'll grow pretty quickly. They can get up to 3 feet long. However, it's more typical to just reach 2 feet. We can see he is sitting very still right now. He's a little unhappy. I took his water dish out just so we could get a better view of him, and he's a little bit cranky with me today. And it's important to remember that these snakes are individuals, so they have their own feelings. They're not always willing to come and hang out with us like we'd like them to, and that's perfectly acceptable. He's allowed to say, no, today I want to stay in my tank and do my own thing. So do we have any questions about these Western Hognose snakes? I don't see any in the chat quite yet, but remember, if you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask. You can see his scales are very, very prominent. It's very easy to see these scales. And what I love about these scales is they have kind of a keel to them, or the middle of the scale has a little kind of point to it. And this is different than some of our other snakes we have here. And this is a look that really does make them look more textured. To me, it almost looks like hair if you look at it from a certain angle, but it just helps keep him protected. It helps him survive in this desert area that he lives in. So a lot of people kind of struggle with, are these hognose dangerous or not? And they are not considered dangerous to people. Though they do have venom, they are not considered dangerous to you and I. And so if you find one, there's really no need to worry. They're not going to hurt you. They're not going to hurt your pets. It's best to just leave them alone and they will go on their merry way. They're really quite harmless unless you are a toad or lizard or other type of amphibian. So I think if I can get the camera at a slightly better angle, we may be able to get a good look at that nose of his. You can see he's flicking his tongue out. Snakes use their tongues to kind of taste the air around them. It allows them to smell and taste the air and tell them what's going on around them. And he's never really seen a whole laptop held up to his cage like this. So he is a little curious as to what's going on right now, but he's being a good sport for us. Earlier, I had him, when I was setting this up, he was kind of sitting up and looking right at the camera, very curious. I think now he's kind of calmed down. He just seems to think it's a little odd, which I don't blame him. So these snakes, they have a really cool pattern. You can see on their backs, it's kind of a spotted, laddered pattern, but their bellies are actually some of the coolest coloration. I was hoping he would kind of sit up for us a little bit, but it looks like he's content to sit right there. That's all right. But their stomachs are a kind of checkered white and black pattern, and this helps them look even more dead when they are playing possum. And it almost looks like a chessboard or checkers almost, their stomachs. And it's really, really a cool look. Next time you are able to come visit the Nature Center, you can check in and see if anybody is happy to take it out and hold it for you. Oh, here I have a question here. Do the baby snakes have the same pattern? I believe so. Yes, I believe their young are very, very similar to themselves. So most of these reptiles, when they hatch out of their eggs, look already like just a miniaturized version of their adult form. So sometimes the patterns become more prominent or less prominent with age, but for the most part, they will look fairly similar throughout their lives. Good question. All right. You can see he's looking around a little bit more, not quite sure. He's moving around more when I move around. I think it's because he's wondering if he's going to get fed. Sorry, Foxxy, it's not feeding time right now. These snakes actually don't eat very much at all. Here at the Nature Center, we feed Foxxy every other week on a Friday. I chose not to feed him for this video because sometimes people don't love to watch a snake swallow a mouse, so I didn't include that today, but if you're interested in seeing that someday, please leave a comment. Let us know that you'd love to watch us feed the snakes, so we can incorporate that into later episodes. But so as I was saying, Foxxy really only eats once every other week, and sometimes even less than that. These snakes hibernate or become really inactive throughout the winter months. And so often in the winter, he will skip meals if he's not feeling up to it. And so he could go almost a month without eating. Of course, we never force that upon him. We always offer him food when it's scheduled. But if he doesn't want to eat, we aren't going to force him into it. You see he's kind of moving around, crawling back into his little divot. And this rock you see right in front of him is his heat rock. So we have a heater underneath that, and it allows him to stay warm. And he also doesn't sit on that rock, but he likes to kind of be near it, tucks himself between it and his water dish, which I've removed for now. But you can see he's actually a really relaxed snake. He's chill. He's happy to just hang out. He's a little bit of a drama queen when he's not feeling very happy with having you in his tank. But for the most part, he is happy to be here and happy to see any visitors. All right, so I think that's all we have on Foxxy today. Sadly, the Nature Center is still closed due to the pandemic. However, we are hoping to open soon, so keep your ears out for that. If there are any other critters you would like to see in these Critter Chronicles, leave a comment, let us know. Of course, subscribe to this YouTube channel. The more subscriptions we get, the more we can do these videos, and the more technologically advanced these videos can get. Make sure you like this video, leave any comments to let us know what you'd like to see in the future, and have a great day. Thank you so much for joining us.